Oh boy. It's time. Here we go. Why? What? Were you sarcastic, not serious against Jank in the DNC video? Sarcastic about what? What did I even say that could be interpreted as sarcastic? It is fun arguing on the same side as Jank. Jank is an energetic dude. When he's on your side, okay, you love him. Are you going to hit a 940? You're letting President Carter die? I had a 950 yesterday, okay? About crediting him Biden dropping out? Did I... We were just memeing. I don't know if the Young Turks had... I have no idea what the impact would have been on them having him drop. I have no clue. I don't even know. I have no idea. But I think Jenk said the same. He's like, even if they move the needle 1% or whatever. Jesus Christ. Dusty wants to continue being an edgelord, but he does not want his friends to feel like his community is hostile. He knows that the community's toxicity is directly correlated to his own. The only solution is to be mean to his friends in a way that does not come back to him. I put Groiper in my Twitter account and told Ayla to slit her throat, and I think you all should too. Okay, decent shit post. So I'll only ban you for 90 days. Jesus Christ. Posting worthless dog shit? That's a rule? Rule 7? We'll call this hateful attacks. Pipe linking is a permaban and will remain a permaban in this kingdom. Removed by Reddit. Oh shit. What does that mean? Like the admins? Is that a Drano link? Or a rope link? Ah, yes. Destiny telling that random kid to kill himself in a cleverly worded way was very funny indeed. Did I already ban this guy? We'll do 120. We'll do a 4-month for this dude. We'll give him the posting worthless dog shit ban. There we go. Oh shit, he's got some ban armor. Oh no. Oh shit, the Matrix is protecting him. Okay, we'll try 90 days. Maybe 120. The universe thought 120 was too long. Okay, 3 months. You're good. On which topic did you agree with Jank? When we were on Peers and we were arguing about... I don't remember. The last 1 or 2 Peers episodes I was on with Jank, though, we were on the same side. Although I think he had to leave early on one of them, so... Why? Why a chicken nugget? Oh, no, wait. Is this an Amogus nugget? Is it even supposed to be a nugget at all, or is it just Amogus? It's a Roblox face on an Among Us chicken nugget. Okay. Like this girl, pro-life Jewess.
Eugenics.
Who is this? Oh, we're on Jubilee. Okay. Wait, this wasn't much of a honeypot at all. I thought I was going to get to ban like 50 people in here. One criticism of Destiny is an unhinged freak weirdo. Based. Okay, never mind. Boring. Don't care. What is this? Lifeline Australia. Was my content suicide-inducing to people or suicidal feeling-inducing to people on... like on YouTube if you were from Australia, or... Asmon segment, arguing with chatters today about January 6th. Just heard a dad ask his 18-year-old, so you get to vote this year. Have you decided? Response, Donald Trump. It put me over the edge with Kamala's taxes on unrealized gains. An 18-year-old gets it. True. Absolutely true. Destiny, update the clip. Hey, guys. Oh, good one.
Related to dinosaurs. Now, excuse me, this may seem like an ignorant question. That I've heard time and time again that crocodiles are very closely related to dinosaurs. Is that accurate?
Well, not that close. I mean, they are reptiles in the same sort of region of the reptiles, but birds are much closer in the sense that there are animals that you would call dinosaurs, definitely you would call dinosaurs, which are closer cousins to birds than they are to other things that you would call dinosaurs. And so that what that means is that birds spring from the middle of the dinosaurs rather than being on the outside of the dinosaurs. Crocodiles you could push on the outside of the dinosaurs.
Okay, so the birds are coming from the middle. And are there any type of which bird do you know is a closest relation to that middle of the dinosaurs?
They're all the same.
All the same.
Yes, because they're all descended from a common ancestor, which would have been called a bird.
Ah, and so do we have a name for this particular common ancestor?
No, we don't know. I mean, there is a famous fossil, Archaeopteryx, which is thought to be close to the common ancestor, but it probably isn't actually the common ancestor.
So, and they all sprang from the common ancestor. And at what point did they then? At what point was the main branch where one became a predator, one became a prey? Is that how it works, or does it work in a different way when it goes into its own separate branches?
Not quite sure what you're asking. Do you don't mean specifically with respect to birds? You mean in general?
No, in respect to the birds. In respect to birds. So how does it? I guess my layman's question is, I'll rephrase that. How does it then split off into the vast variety of bird life that we see today?
Oh.
I mean, it sounds like the guy just doesn't remember or didn't learn anything about like evolution or whatever to call it. I don't think this is like this isn't that bad. A lot of people probably don't remember any of this shit from school at all, right? Yes, but such a high-profile scientist to waste the time of. My guess is going to be overall this interview probably had more to do with politics than science. That'd be my guess, but... Explain the difference between Lamarck's theory and Darwin's? Fuck. Lamarckian? Didn't Lamarckian not believe in... Oh, fuck. Lamarckian, I don't think believed in, what was it, macroevolution? That, like, natural selection wouldn't lead to, like, massively divergent organisms over time? Lamarckian? I don't remember. I feel like I think I learned about this term one time when we were watching the Sapolsky stuff, but I don't, I think he believed in, like, in micro changes, but that it wouldn't lead to, like, broader, like, whole new organisms or whatever. But I don't remember. Is the notion that an organism passes on to its offspring physical characteristics the parent organism acquired through use or disuse during its lifetime. Oh, never mind. This is a different thing. So he rejected the idea of genes or genetic inheritance, or at least said that there were things that you could pass on. Rip. Okay. His argument was that giraffes had longer necks because they stretched it to get the leaves. Okay. Yeah, because I was going to say, like, I guess, like, through epigenetic things, you could kind of get to some kind of thing like this, but probably not as he was probably saying this was the main explainer for all of the changes in organisms rather than, like, genetics or whatever, right? I guess. Okay. All right. Don't care about that.
No, excuse...
Stop. Okay. Why hasn't Kyla gotten Mark Cuban on yet? That's the real question. That's the real question. I watched this clip last night and I just don't care. And it's boring. Oh no, Tulsi Gabbard endorses Trump. Who could have ever seen that coming? What? Whoa, what? What? No way. That's insane.
So good, guys. Why then do you and Hillary want to control and
This guy definitely says white. Absolutely.
restrict and limit gun manufacturers, gun owners, and the responsible use of guns and ammunition to the rest of us, the good guys, instead of holding the bad guys accountable for their actions. And Mr. President, if I may, I'd like to use Chicago, your hometown, a city that has some of the strictest gun laws in the nation, a city that for decades and still is under Democratic control, a city that has an outrageous and even embarrassing murder rate as my first example. Why can't we round up these thugs, these drug dealers and gang members, and hold them accountable for their actions, or allow the good people in Chicago access to firearms to protect themselves?
Good. All right. Well, let me, it's a multi-part question, so let me just say a couple things. First of all, the notion that I, or Hillary, or Democrats, or whoever you want to choose, are hell-bent on taking away folks' guns is just not true. And I don't care how many times the NRA says it. I'm about to leave office. There have been more guns sold since I've been president than just about any time in U.S. history. There are enough guns for every man, woman, and child in this country. And at no point have I ever proposed confiscating guns from responsible gun owners. So it's just not true. What I have said is precisely what you suggested, which is why don't we treat this like every other thing that we use? We used to have really bad auto fatality rates. The auto fatality rate has actually dropped precipitously, drastically since I was a kid. Why is that? We decided we had seatbelt laws. We decided to have manufacturers put airbags in place. We decided to crack down on drunk driving and texting. We decided to redesign roads so that they were less likely to have a car bank. We studied what is causing these fatalities using science and data and evidence, and then we slowly treated it like the public health problem it was, and it got reduced. We are not allowed to do any of that when it comes to guns because people, if you propose anything, it is suggested that we're trying to wipe away gun rights and impose tyranny and martial law. Do you know that Congress will not allow the Center for Disease Control to study gun violence? They're not allowed to study it because the notion is that by studying it the same way we do with traffic accidents, somehow that's going to lead to everybody's guns being confiscated. When we talked about background checks, if you buy a car, if you want to get a license, first of all, you got to get a license. You have to take a test. People have to know that you know how to drive. You don't have to do any of that with respect to buying a gun. And when we talked about doing effective background checks, it was resisted because the notion was we were going to take your guns away. I just came from a meeting today in the Situation Room in which I've got people who we know.
Wait. Is there really a room called the Situation Room? Is that... What is the Situation Room? Where is that? What is that? What's going on in there? Is that the one where you have the pictures of them and they're looking at the screen? And it's like, oh shit. Who's allowed in that room? The Situation Room, White House. How is it that rhinos are actual Republicans, but real patriot Republicans are literally Democrats? True. Fuck, that's a good-ass tweet, actually. Thank you. I will be yoinking that. You just paid me to steal your tweet. Am I making this up, or I mix up all the daughters because I don't keep track of these politicians. Cheney was the one who got obliviated after working on the was it Cheney and Kinzinger were the two Republicans on the J6 committee? Who are the other big rhino Republicans? I'm thinking right now McCain, Cheney, who else? Give me like one more big popular name. Three is a good number. Oh, Romney. There we go. Yeah, Romney. That's a big name. And then we'll throw in an et cetera here. Like we've got way more examples than we don't. And then who are the true Republicans that are not actually Republicans? What is it? We've got Tulsi, RFK. Elon Musk. Jim Jordan is a Republican. Okay, thanks. Good observation. Okay. The situation was an intelligence management complex on the ground floor of the West Wing of the White House. While the name suggests it is a single room, it is in fact a 5,000 square feet operation suite consisting of a duty watch station and 3 secure conference rooms. God damn. That's a situation complex. Jesus.
Have been on ISIL websites, living here in the United States, U.S. citizens. And we're allowed to put them on the no-fly list when it comes to airlines. But because of the National Rifle Association, I cannot prohibit those people from buying a gun. This is somebody who is a known ISIL sympathizer. And if he wants to walk in to a gun store or a gun show right now and buy as many weapons as ammo as he can, nothing's prohibiting him from doing that, even though the FBI knows who that person is. So, sir, I just have to say respectfully that
these are really bad arguments. Oh, man. Known ISIL sympathizer. Yeah, and this is the United States of America. You can't restrict my right to buy weapons because I support people you don't like. You need stronger ties than that. Also, the no-fly list is a bad example, too, because you could be restricted from flying on airplanes without due process. President?
there is a way for us to have common sense gun laws. There is a way for us to make sure that lawful...
I think expanded background checks and I think red flag laws, I think are like better directions to head for this.
Responsible gun owners like yourself are able to use it for sporting, hunting, protecting yourself. But the only way we're going to do that is if we don't have a situation in which anything that is proposed is viewed as some tyrannical destruction of the Second Amendment. And that's how the issue too often gets framed.
Oh shit, wait, fuck. Ugh. Was there anything else? I think we're good.
No, there's nothing else.
Well, I got a video I'm gonna watch. What's up?
What's the video on?
I don't know. I'm so tired about... Wait, what is this? Microsoft doubles down on recording your screen.
Your screen? Oh my god, they're gonna regret that one.
Watch the video already. This guy has had his mouth open for about an hour straight.
Good. Leave it open.
Okay, what's up?
The gun thing. How much of that do you support?
From what I just said, all of it. From what Obama said, probably none of it.
What would well, you know why the Republicans are probably so against it, right? It's obvious.
Because they're retarded?
Well,
the best faith answer is that any type of gun restriction, give an inch, take a mile, could be seen as like a further step into more gun restrictions in the future. So it's better to just categorically oppose them than to allow any small ones to happen, yeah? But what's your answer?
Well, I think there's two types of not gun confiscation, but not let you buy guns type of thing. The first one is what he was just saying is like you're a known ISIL sympathizer, and we can't stop you from buying guns. So I want you to really think about this for a second before you answer. Do you think that should apply to Mike from PA?
I don't think that should apply to anybody. That's why I said I don't support basically
so you
anything
don't-
that
so you
Obama
don't-
said. I think that's a
okay,
crazy
so
thing.
you-
You have a right to support any
Alright,
foreign
yeah.
government or whatever you want. That's insane.
Okay, so terrorist supporters should be able to buy guns, and then
Hold on. Or
terrorist sympathizers.
okay, yes, thank you. Yeah, supporter implies like donating money to or something like that. That might be illegal, but yeah.
Okay, well let's say that. Let's say donating money to Hamas. Do you think they should be able to buy? If you've done that, do you think you should be able to buy guns?
It depends on what the laws are there for that. I imagine there's some type of support or some level of support you can give to certain organizations that would get you either felony charges or something, and then there might be some gun right restrictions going down the road from that. But I think that, oh, Jesus. But I think that's like a fine, there's probably some types of laws where if you break them, you should be restricted from having firearms for at least a little bit, I guess.
You know, the challenging one is the mental health.
I'm aware. Yep,
hold on
I
a
know,
second.
because if you do the mental health thing, when he comes back, he's going to say the problem with mental health checks is that if you have this mental health disease, you're not allowed to get a gun, then people aren't going to go in and get advising on mental health stuff, because if they get diagnosed, they're going to lose their guns or something. Is the yeah. Background check is fundamentally not due process. So to support it means you're supporting a non-due process method to prevent someone buying guns. How is that fundamentally not due process? How did you fix your stream lagging? Graphics card drivers. Okay, while he's doing that, we're gonna watch this.
A couple months ago, Microsoft released the preview build of its Recall program. If you don't remember what that was, and I hope you do because it's crazy, Recall was a piece of software that would sit on Copilot plus ARM CPUs that ran Windows. And
Wait, Recall was the name of the... Wait, hold on.
a couple months ago, Microsoft released the preview build of its Recall program. If you don't remember what that was, and I hope you do because it's crazy, Recall was a piece of software that would sit on
I'm sorry. I'm thinking Recall, like recalling like bad... Okay.
Pilot plus ARM CPUs that ran Windows. And what it would do is it would take screenshots of your computer every 5 seconds and then collect metadata about those screenshots, like the characters on the screen, the images on the screen, using the local AI processor in the Snapdragon CPU, and then store that metadata in a database that you could query later to figure out, like, when was the last time I looked at purses, was the example that the news did. And obviously, this program collected a lot of negative feedback from the security community. A lot of security researchers were able to see that you could just literally go and open the database yourself, even though it was said to be encrypted at rest. And so obviously, it didn't get a lot of love. Literally
Microsoft's Recall feature is even more hackable than you thought.
go and open the database yourself, even though it was said to be encrypted at rest. And so obviously it didn't get a lot of love. Microsoft just came back with a new article, a new update to their original blog post that highlights some of the new security features of Recall. There are some slight improvements, but I still hate the idea as a whole. So in this video, I want to talk about what the updates are, kind of give my thoughts on those changes, and kind of get your opinion too. I want to see in the comments below what you think about the Recall program after these updates. They have made some improvements to how the database is authenticated, but overall, the idea of Microsoft taking screenshots every 5 seconds, even if stored locally, scares the crap out of me. So let's dive right in. Also, if you're new here, hi, my name is Ed. This is A Little Learning, a channel we're talking...
God, I want to reinstall... Maybe I'll do this tonight, because I just love fucking with my computer so much. I watched the video last night and made me want to reinstall my whole shit. Did you know that Life Alert... Okay, no, Life Alert is for old people. Well, here's a pro life tip. Okay, we'll call it life tip. When you go to install Windows 11, you have to choose world. I didn't know that. Instead of choosing like the region or the language, you just choose like English world instead of ever giving it a region. And you end up avoiding so much random fucking shit that would go on your computer otherwise. What was I downloaded some bullshit to remove OneDrive, although I don't know if it actually permanently removes it or not, but fuck, what was the name of this? What was the name
All
of
right,
this?
I'm back. Sorry.
Yeah, okay.
What
what's
were we
that?
bitching about?
I don't know.
I don't either.
Bayzid.
Must not have been.
Must
that
have been.
important.
Must have been Bazed.
Yeah. So we got Big Dick on Wednesday. You excited?
I'm so excited. Yeah.
Are you?
Yep. Always.
You've been on their show. Now they're going to be on our show.
Wait, one. It's just one of them, right? Or is Vito coming too?
The Vito's coming on for another time.
Okay.
The mental health thing on guns.
Yep.
You probably already knew what it was. Not even worth saying. Just, can't do much, It is what it is. I do think they should probably get rid of gun shows. I think.
Maybe. You know what they should do?
think
This is what nobody does that irritates the fuck out of me. This is what people should do. When people talk about preventing gun violence, what they should do is they should say, here is a thing that we're suggesting, and here's how many shootings last year were caused by this particular problem that we're trying to remedy. That would make me care more, I think, and it would be a much better way, I think, to argue against certain types of restrictions. Because people have like all these wacky restrictions. Like, how many lives a year are being saved by the silencer like restrictions or licensing, or how many people's lives are
like, AR-15s.
Yeah, like how many like it doesn't, but like because like people talk about like, oh well, there's a school shooting, so we need to have like red flag laws. It's like, okay, but like how many of these school shootings are like a kid took the gun from his dad's safe, or how many of these school shootings, like a 15-year-old doesn't usually have a record of felonies that you can refer to, and they're not being diagnosed with mental illnesses that would make them at risk for doing a school shooting. Like I feel like a lot of times people will suggest these things that wouldn't cover 95% of shootings. I was like, well, what the fuck is even the point of this? I have heard like one thing, I don't have numbers, but I've heard that like doing the time delay, that actually can help. Because when people get ultra triggered, they'll go to a gun store, buy a gun, get it, go home and kill somebody. But if you have like a week waiting period or like a 3-day waiting period, that can help. Like stuff like that I think is okay. But yeah, all the other rules or restrictions seem really silly. Yeah, go ahead.
How much of gun crime in the U.S., how much of it is, I guess, what you would call desperation crime versus first degree? So actually, there's three types. Desperation crime, which is like, I'm robbing a store, right?
Well, we consider that desperation? What do you mean by desperation?
I think so. Like you're poor and you want money, type of thing.
Okay.
Like, so there's that part. How much? So yes, robbing a store would be like you're desperate for money. Obviously, if you're robbing a store, robbing a bank, you're desperate. The second type would be like, I guess, heat of the moment type shit. And then I guess you also include into that maybe first degree stuff as well. So if you had to combine
the vast majority are probably category 3, the desperation crimes, if that's how you define desperation crimes.
I think so as well.
Yeah. Also, the problem with the waiting period is instead of using a gun, they use a knife. Would you rather be stabbed or shot? You would rather be stabbed. I don't know why the like epic Reddit meme of trying to be the contrarian on like getting shot or stabbed is a thing, but you would always rather be stabbed than shot. It is always better to be stabbed than shot. It's a retarded fucking question. Sorry, go ahead.
I agree with you that like, yeah, it is the first one. So the question is, if that's the case, what can you do if most gun crime is desperation related? Meaning people that need money, so they're robbing a store or they're doing something that's low income as a result of it. How can you incentivize them to do it? Like an example, this would be a gun buyback. And in the past, I've suggested the idea of stopping, like an insane tax on ammunition, like a literal insane tax, like a bullet tax, with like a buyback possible from the government. With the idea being is that you're so desperate that you're about to rob a liquor store and you have a gun with 6 bullets in it. You can either rob that liquor store or you can go sell your 6 bullets to the local police station.
Well, I don't think the problem is that like you can't put a huge tax on bullets because nobody would support that in the United States, right?
You might have half the public might. Do you think you could?
I think doing the huge bullet tax would be worse than some of the more aggressive like gun bans, I think.
How?
Because you're basically making guns inaccessible for almost everybody. What do you mean? How big of a tax are we talking? I'm not going to pay $5 per 9mm to go shoot at a range.
Well, I think that would be a great one, actually. Yeah, $5 per bullet.
Yeah, but then you're banning guns for 90% of the population. Nobody's shooting.
They're the ones who commit most of the crime, though. No?
But then at that point, why not just ban guns?
Well, we We do that. That's exactly how we treat stuff right now. Machine guns, if you're poor, you don't get to have it.
Most people kill people with pistols, not machine guns.
Hold on. It's not the point I'm making to you. Listen to the point I'm making. Most people can't have a machine gun. You know who can?
Rich people who can afford the license?
Yeah.
Sure, but if you do this bullet tax on every bullet, you've essentially removed the ability for like the vast majority of the population. Not what you keep saying, poor people, but it's basically everybody.
Okay, then you make it. It has to be enough that if you're about to commit a crime, that you would consider selling the bullets first.
Yeah, but the issue is you're trying to set a tax that would be too high for a criminal to want to commit crime to make money, but low enough for somebody who wants to just go to the range and blow through a few hundred rounds shooting at targets. I don't think that middle ground doesn't exist.
Jojo, you're so fucking retarded. I'm sorry that we can't have a fucking conversation without your fucking panties getting in a twist. Like, these people, they think they have it all fucking figured out. I'm sorry, we can't do a discussion? Is that okay with you, sir? Am I interrupting your busy day of being Don Draper, of jerking off in your mom's fucking basement? Shut the fuck up. Sorry.
Yeah. True.
And get banned for 10 minutes.
Oh my God. You got him.
Think about yourself in timeout. Okay, so you don't like it. You don't like paying $5 per 9 mil.
Well, I just don't think it would ever be supported. You don't think?
I mean, Democrats want to get rid of ARs completely, right?
Yeah, and how good have they been at that? They haven't done that. If anything, the gun laws are like rolling back, right?
Well, they're rolling back, I would say, because of Supreme Court rulings, not necessarily because of the public will.
Sure.
The idea is that you could also... They always find ways to frame this shit in a way that's like really sneaky. It's like, hey, we're introducing a new tax on bullets, and every dollar from this tax is going towards kids' education and stopping online, sex trafficking and shit like that. Like, you make it and then you call the bill the like Stop Killing Children bill, and then anyone who votes against it, you're like, oh, so you're against the Stop Killing Children rule. Really nice.
I think people would easily say, yes, I'm against it, and they would just call it like the bullet ban bill. Republicans would have a different name for it, right?
Yeah, but they would, right? But the idea is, can you get enough Democrats to support it that you could pass it?
No, I don't think so. I think that people would be against it because it would be like banning or removing firearms from the vast majority of America, and guns are just a really sensitive issue to push on.
So what do you think the solution is then? I mean, if you look at it objectively, poor people are committing most of the crime. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Laws are there for people who respect laws. Like, any law that you make doesn't really affect me or you because we don't break laws. We go through the bullshit to get it. Like, if I want a machine gun, I'm going to go through the paperwork to go and get a machine gun. People in Chicago who are putting, what the fuck do you call it? On their Glocks. It's like a bullet button or some shit. No, not the bullet button. A switch. They put a switch on their Glock, turning it into a machine gun.
Sure.
They don't care about the law. So the law doesn't do shit. So
I mean, it'd be laws, and then it would be like different types of enforcement mechanisms, I guess, right? So any transfer from legal to illegal, you'd have to punish these harshly. So closing things like the gun show loophole, although I don't even know how much that matters. Like, things like that are what you would focus on. So legal people aren't transferring weapons to people illegally as much. And then, I don't know, you'd either make penalties harsher for the people committing crime, or you would do other types of, or you would try to combat the issues that are related to why people commit crime rather than just like fixating on the firearm part. Because by the time they're wanting to acquire a firearm to commit a crime, it might be too late to target the firearm.
First off, we have a chatter who thinks they're an expert in this, so I'd like to chat with them. They're gonna come in Discord, right, Jasha? You're really, really confident in your views that you have this all solved. Would love to hear it. This guy's got gun violence solved. Did you know that?
You know what? If he's in stream disagreements, drag him in.
I'm waiting for him. Come on, Jasha, let's go. Oh. Wait, Dr. K owns you? Okay, that's a see you later forever. Anyways, I think the only mechanism that works is a tax, right? Like in Chicago right now, this whole Glock switch thing is an epidemic. Like, people are selling them like fucking crazy out there. And that's like, isn't that like a mandatory, insane penalty for having a machine gun? Like, that's a federal crime. You have a machine gun that's not registered. That's like some sort of mandatory prison time, I think.
Okay.
It's a big deal. It's like filing the serial number off of your gun type of thing.
Okay.
And people don't give a shit. They do it anyways.
Well, at the point when somebody goes to purchase an illegal firearm, it might be too late then to do anything about it. Like, you should have targeted the issues before then, right?
So that's why I'm saying the incentive should be that there's always an off-ramp if you have a gun, if you have ammunition, that there has to be if you want to actually solve it in this country, there has to be a way to turn your weapon into money. That's it. Nothing else matters.
I don't think it's so much that they've got a ton of guns around that they're like, well, fuck, I've got nothing else to do. Might as well go commit crime with my gun. I think these people probably acquire guns to commit crime.
Sure. For some of them. Some of them, I think, as we said, we agree there's desperation in this. If you're poor and you have something you can sell and make money, I think that you would somehow, hopefully, a percentage of these people would instead take the non-illegal, non-put your life in danger path to get money.
Yeah, but then at that point, they're never even going to be able to get those guns because the people that would sell them illegally or give them to them illegally, they would just turn in the guns, right?
Well, that's fine. But you would have to, the one thing you would have to do, I think, if you were going to do this, it would have to be a full, complete ban on new weapons and new ammunition being created. And then maybe have some, like, at a range, some type of shit where, you could shoot for cheap while you're at the range, but it was like heavily monitored. You can't take it home type of thing. Like, yeah, I think that would be the only way to do it. I don't know how else you solve this problem. Any other law or rule that you make, just, it feels like it doesn't matter is where I'm getting at. Like,
yeah, probably doesn't affect things that much. Yeah, I would agree. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything you can do aside from creating a financial incentive for people not to have guns. That's it. That is the only thing that would work.
Possibly, yeah. But it's kind of like making laws against like assaulting people to try to stop domestic violence. Like, by the time two partners are like beating on each other, it's probably not very much you can do in the way of making laws against assault or battery that are going to help, right? For the gun violence that happens in the United States, the vast majority is related to gang activity or other criminal activity. Like, these are the people that you're trying to make laws for. It's pretty difficult, right?
How much of that, I wonder, do voters care about? Like, I don't mean to be like rude, but like, do Democrats really give a shit about like gangs in Chicago shooting themselves up, or do they only get insane when a kid goes into a supermarket or a school and shoots a bunch of kids? And I think it's the latter. I don't think people really give a fuck about gangs shooting themselves.
I think that if you're national, you probably don't give a fuck because nobody talks about it because who cares? But if you live in those cities, I would be surprised. Like, if you go to, Chicago or Baltimore or New York City or whatever, I'm sure the people running for office there are talking a lot about crime. That'd be my guess. It's like, I think these are big issues locally, but nationally we just don't talk about it as much because there's not much we can do nationally about it.
Yeah.
True.
Sorry, I'm just arguing with chatters. People get so fucking butthurt about this subject, like even discussing it whatsoever makes people lose their fucking mind.
True.
Like even suggesting anything that could potentially change anything, and people lose their fucking mind as a result of it. And the reason I said bullet button, okay, is in California, they do have this thing called a bullet button. It's the cringe ass shit where they're introducing it into the AR-15s, where if you wanted to release the magazine, you had to like have a tool, but then people made it so that you could use the tip of a bullet to like remove the magazine. Like, a removable magazine was one of like multiple features. And yeah, the bullet button was born. It's not a thing anymore. Well, I haven't lived in California for 10 years, more than that. So yeah, okay.
Based.
Who was that guy I was yelling at again? Hold on, I gotta look through my thing. Hattie Bin. Let's see, what's his nickname here? 1 second. He was really excited. Oh, there he is. He's I see he's in Discord. He's in this server.
Okay, well, you figure out how to drag him in. I'm listening to this guy. 1 second.
Talk about software security.
Oh, fuck. Oh, wait, chat
What?
was right. The guy that I was talking about was this Chris Titus tech guy. He's got this whole ass tool for helping your Windows shit. But he has a video for how to basically make it work. But then at the beginning of that video, Dan, did you know that when you install Windows 11, you're supposed to choose the world region? I didn't know that.
I didn't even know there was a region. When did they add that?
It's when
And
you
what does
choose
it do?
your language. Like, it'll be like English American, English British, but there's an English world region.
And what does that do?
It makes it so that your Windows doesn't install like 30 random stupid fucking things in your computer. Hold on. Listen to this guy. Here, pro tip for Windows 11 installers, all right? Oh my God, this blew my mind.
So let's get into the actual install. We'll load up a fresh VM. So this is the first trick on here, is mainly just to take the time currency format and change this to English World. From English World, you'll actually remove all like TikTok, Prime Video, all those links on your start menu. Just makes it a little bit easier. And to fix, it actually disables Microsoft Store as well, which is really nice. But it's really easy to re-enable, and I'll show that. So let's just go next, and we're just going to do a fresh install. No changes from the stock settings here. Typically, I always like Windows 11 Pro. If you have Home, I highly recommend upgrade.
I unplug my network when installing, bypasses a bunch of retarded shit. I think they turned that off, Cake, unless you've done it really recently. It used to be that you could unplug from the internet and then it wouldn't make you sign into a Windows account.
Yep.
I think
Now it makes you like, hey, get your phone.
Yeah, I think it turns out. I think you have to do it now. Yeah.
Upgrading to Pro,
There is
use a
a way
key,
around
whatever
it,
you can
but
find,
it's
because then you can really
obnoxious.
use group policy a lot easier. There's hacks to get it available in Home, but a lot of times feature updates disable those. You run into problems. So I always like Windows 11 Pro if you're choosing a version. All right, with the initial install done, it's going to restart, and I'll see you on the desktop. Now, on initial startup, you're going to run into this problem before hitting the desktop. It's a timeout, so it'll probably sit there for about 60 seconds, maybe up to 2 minutes, and then give you this OOBE, which is just out-of-box experience that we're going through. Let's just skip through this, and we'll just set it up as we normally would. We're going to skip the second layout. We're just going to name the device test. Next. And then on this, you always want to choose work and school if you're going to do an offline account, which I always recommend, and I've always just kind of had a habit of doing. If you have a Microsoft account and you're doing stuff through the store, you might do personal use, but I still like the old school way of doing things. We're just going to sign in options, domain join, and then we're just going to name this one test, and or let's just go test user. Next. For password, always leave this blank when setting up a test account because you get to skip every single security questions and you just get done a lot quicker from this. Little hack. Obviously set a password after you log in, but this way makes it quite a bit faster. All right, and here we go. Let's see what the actual startup looks like. You can see we can still get like the Edge garbage here. We got these widgets. You have just a chat and a whole bunch of stuff right down here. Not a very great experience, but a lot better than just using English. With the world, obviously, you can see we don't have any of the shortcut links for any of the other bloatware, whether it's Amazon Prime, TikTok, all that garbage. So it's a lot better starting point. That's why I like it. And you will notice if you launch into the
versus US.
Hey, it's got all sorts of these little tips and tricks.
I just don't understand why Microsoft is doing this to us. Like,
they make more money on it.
people-
They keep the cost of the OS down, and they collect more money later on.
I mean, I understand like turning Microsoft into a SaaS. I think that's definitely coming. But like, the only people that even like, you know how insane it used to be to try and have a local account, like the steps you would have to do. I mean, you do, right?
I mean, wait. What was the last thing you just said?
Okay, to have a local account, like what you used to have to do is like, okay, you had to go in the BIOS and literally remove that you had a Ethernet adapter and a Wi-Fi adapter. Like you had to actually disable it for Windows to let you create an account.
Jesus.
That was like,
I thought it used to be. Wait, what? I thought it used to be with Windows. I think 8, and then I think 10. There was an option where it would say like log in later or something like that. You just push that.
No, that shit's long gone. And then the question is like, why the fuck are they doing this? The only people that are left that are doing this are like the most insane tech sensitive people. And now they're basically just like, it's getting to the point where they're just not going to let you do it at all. It's like, hey, just go fuck yourself.
Yeah, because everything has to be
account.
online and everything. Yeah.
Let me ask you, how do you deal with people that are just so fucking stupid?
Stop
but wanna
watching
tell you
chat.
things?
Just stop watching chat.
They're just so fucking dumb.
Okay,
Do you know
I'm watching
who
one more
am?
minute of this.
Oh my god.
Cybersecurity. So if you're into that or just want to hang out, hit that sub button, really appreciate it. So first of all, Microsoft is making Recall an opt-in program. So originally when it was announced, it was going to be an opt-out program, meaning that to disable Recall, you had to, one, know Recall was enabled, and then turn it off, meaning that you had to opt out of the program. Recall is now an opt-in program, which overall is obviously a good thing, but I have had weird instances on my own personal computer where features like Cortana, for example, that I disable when I turn Windows on, when I install Windows on my computer,
comes back,
magically get turned on without my permission or consent.
It's either whenever you do like any random update or whatever. Yes, I fucking hate this. And it happens with OneDrive as well. I hate this, I hate this, I hate this.
So I don't know if that's a misconfiguration thing, if that's a marketing thing where Windows or Microsoft are trying to push their features and turning them on without my consent. But I have seen that happen before. It's not only me, but people around the community have had like magical Microsoft Windows features turn on by themselves. So if that's going to be the case with the Recall, not a huge fan of that. But I mean, at least we're going in the correct direction where, you know, we're making it so that it's not on by default. The example that I give with all of these things is I think of my grandmother, who doesn't know anything about computers and is what should be thought of as like the default user of software. If she is not able to even understand the technology or understand or consent to the technology and just have this repository of information about her browsing history or computing habits, I think that's a bad thing. I think the average user should not be subjected to that without consenting to it. So opt-in is a step towards getting consent, right? The Recall database now says that it will only be decrypted once you've authenticated through the Windows Hello program. So the Windows Hello program is effectively, they use not biometric authentication, but you have to either show your face or your fingerprint or some other like I am actually this person kind of authentication that's processed in the CPU to decrypt that database. Now the question is, does that mean that if I log into my computer with Windows Hello, the database is now decrypted until I log out? Is it when the window is locked? Is it when the desktop is locked? How long does that data stay decrypted at rest? Because if any kind of malware is on the computer and they want access to that data, all they're going to do is wait until I'm properly authenticated to access that data and then just steal it all. I think the core of my issue with the Recall program is that there is literally just a corpus of data that is on my computer that I don't want to be on my computer, right? It would be like if I stored all of my personally identifiable information about me and my family and my kids, like socials, tax returns, school records, I don't know, all that stuff in one folder and just hoped that it was never accessible at the wrong time. That's why I have literally in that closet is like a cabinet full of records that no one can get to unless you're in my house in the backmost room of my house.
And now he just told us how to find them and how to get to them.
Right? I'm literally in my basement right now. So I think that in and of itself, just having that data anywhere is a threat. Now, obviously, making it authenticated and making it decrypted at the right time is a step in the right direction, right? I mean, originally, the data was just decrypted when BitLocker was decrypted, which means that if the system is on, the data was decrypted. That was a huge security oversight on Microsoft's part. I'm not really sure how that got through any kind of security review, given that if the computer is enabled, the database is encrypted, therefore it is not encrypted at rest. Like it's encrypted at rest, but in like a weird scummy marketing way where like it's not really, you can just sell it like that legally. I don't know. Wasn't a big fan of that. Now, also in the blog post, they did update with like some major security points to try to, I think, ease some of the fears about Recall. First of all, snapshots are stored locally. Copilot PCs have powerful AI that work on your device's behalf. No internet or cloud connections are used to store and process snapshots. So that is one thing that's like reassuring. They're not going to like take your screenshot, send it off to the magical, Microsoft Cloud Center, process it there. It is happening locally on your own AI processor. Snapshots are not shared. So this has gotten people a little nervous because they say that snapshots are not shared, but like this is the crux of every argument about corporate data collection. Okay, so like the snapshots aren't shared, right? But is the optical character recognition data, the metadata that is stored in that database, is that now anonymized and then like sold to Google as ad data so they can give me personalized ads? I mean, there are even ads that are paid out to Microsoft and Google in browsers like Edge, for example. And if this is just another clever way of collecting personalization data, I don't think that's right. I don't know if that's happening or not. I'm just saying there is the potential for that kind of overreach to happen. I mean, so like my wife and I share Instagram reels with each other, and I know for a fact that the minute I install Instagram on my iPhone, I get more personalized ads, and I get ads about things that we are talking about. Like they are probably collecting microphone data and anonymizing it for personalized.
Okay, I don't know if this has changed in the past couple years, but I thought that multiple people tried to do investigations on this to figure out if you just randomly talking would be recorded and then used to serve you ads, personalized ads in the future. I feel like every single time that was investigated, it never ended up being the case. Has there been like a new, reputable source that has investigated this to see if this is the case, or?
As ad experience, some legal bullshit. But it is not uncommon for this to happen. So while the snapshots themselves are not shared, is the metadata about them shared? What's going on with that? You will know when Recall is saving snapshots. So like if you have an iPhone, for example, you get a little light that lights up when the camera is being used, when your location is being used, when your Bluetooth is being used. So now they're gonna have a little thing that says, hey, watch, Recall is actively taking screenshots, which again, step in the right direction, but it doesn't fully fix the problem of the fact that they're taking screenshots in general. Digital rights managed or in private browsing snapshots are not saved. So basically, if you are using a piece of content that overtly supports DRM or has in private browsing in a way that the Windows kernel knows about, it will not capture those.
Oh, that's interesting. They could serve you ads based on who or what people are accessing on your Wi-Fi network. I didn't really consider that. I guess you'd have basically the same IP address, so you'd so it's possible that they could locate ads like that or serve ads like that. I guess that could be okay.
Snapshots. But again, this isn't security by default. Like, I have to now go into a more secure mode to avoid the snapshots. Now, again, at this point, obviously, if you're using this program, you've opted in, so I guess you kind of know about that. I'm not super sure how I feel about that one. And then this is a big one, enterprise and customer choice. So this was a big concern for people that worked as like IT administrators at big companies. Are they going to have to now administer and monitor the recall databases on every Copilot-enabled PC that exists in their network? There's some corporate networks that have literally thousands, tens of thousands of PCs, and if they have to worry about a single compromise removing the security of the last, if it's gone on for a long enough time, 5 years of collected data, that's a really, really, really bad thing. So I think they're going to give, at the group policy probably level, the ability for IT admins to control this, and by that, likely everyone that I know is going to disable this feature, right? No one in their right mind at the corporate IT level is going to use this feature. We're on a journey to build products and experiences that live up to our company mission to empower people and organizations to achieve more, and are driven by the critical importance of maintaining our customers' privacy, security, and trust. More corpo bullshit. I don't know, dude. I'm gonna make a whole separate video about this. I genuinely believe that AI is evil. And what I mean by that is the technology itself, LLMs, the math and the science behind AI is all well and good. But we are just creating another excuse for companies to shill things at us that we don't need in exchange for metadata collection to improve ad experiences. I think that AI is going to be, in 10 years, the Facebook of 2016, right? It was a feature that started out as a good thing, and once companies realized that they could slurp up a little bit of anonymized metadata and use that to shill ads, I don't see why they wouldn't. And this just seems like another way of getting really scary personal information about people and knowing their trends that, like, every Wednesday, again, going back to the news example, every Wednesday, Danielle searches for purses on eBay and now they know to send her ads and shit like that. I don't know, man. It just scares me. I hope you're not too scared by this. I hope that this goes in the correct, again, it's trending in the right direction. They're making it a little more secure, but just the fact that we even have programs like this, features like this, makes me a little weird. I don't know. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, if you thought it was weird, or if you want to tell me what you think, put it in the comments down below. Hit subscribe. Also, I feel like no one knows this, but I stream on Twitch. If you want to hang out with me live, I do stream on twitch.tv/lowlevellearning. Might be live right now, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.
Wow.
Things don't seem small.
Oh, this guy. Who actually cares about this? For 99.9% of people, their data is used for targeted ads, which is harmless. People like this dude harp so much on cybersecurity without realizing that they're nobody from the perspective of Microsoft. Yeah, I feel like harping on like the anonymous stuff and being like, oh, like they can track you. I don't think the vast majority of people, like, it sounds spooky, but like, who the fuck cares actually? There should be more focus on the idea of having these like huge databases collecting a ton of information about you and how these things could be compromised. But another thing is that we've kind of become indifferent to that because, like, how many times has, like, 35 million more social security numbers, got leaked, or, 20 million accounts from, I feel like it happens so much that people are like indifferent to it at this point as well. So,
well, there was this recent one that's insane. Did you see it? Like, pretty much like, I don't want to say everyone's social security number was leaked, but I would say like half of America's social security number, like full information was leaked. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, I feel like I saw this was this a few months ago?
No, it was like a week or two ago.
Oh, then never mind. Then I'm thinking of something different. Yeah.
Because he, on the campaign trail, argues these counterfactuals that Putin was afraid of him, that Putin wouldn't have invaded Ukraine if he had been president.
Well, he has a point in a couple of areas. In that first year of the Trump administration, I tell the story of how we imposed more sanctions on Russian entities in that 1 year than the previous 8 years of the Obama administration. And the really critical decision, though, Margaret,
wow,
think was to provide the Ukrainians with defensive capabilities, especially in the form of Javelin missiles.
Right.
But in the area of inconsistency, I also tell the story about how that support was suspended to get evidence of the Biden family's corrupt activities in Ukraine.
The grounds for impeachment, which
Right,
basically
absolutely.
you're saying were justified.
Right. So there's an element in the story about how he can make really sound decisions and disrupt things that need to be disrupted in terms of foreign policy and national security, but oftentimes struggles to hang on to those decisions and see them through.
Wow.
Because he, on the campaign trail, argues.
Somebody asked if this was justified.
We're in Hollywood making movies right now because of us. Because they believe in us and what we're doing. I'm on the phone with every studio at night. Insurance companies. Producers. And they're looking at us and using us to make their movies. We are creating thousands of jobs, you I don't ever want to see it again. Ever. And if you don't do it, you're fired. And I see you do it again, you're gone. And anyone on this crew does it. That's it. And you too, and you too, and you. Don't you ever do it again. That's it. No apologies. You can tell it to the people that are losing their homes because our industry is shut down. It's not going to put food on their table.
I mean, if you're fucking shit up, they can get your... This was confirmed fake. The witty, link, or your permaban. Good luck. Just kidding.
I like giving him a timer.
Too late.
It's good.
I'll just say it. Democrats spent fucking 4 years calling
I was thinking
Trump
about
a
using this as a tweet, but I'd have to modify it somehow. It's too much work.
Using what as a tweet?
That Tom Cruise freaking out. It's like when a redact employee asks for some time off.
Based.
Yeah. People freaking out, Dan talking over clips again. Well, if I could fucking hear what Steve was playing, I would know. Okay? And it's also on him. He's just autistically clicking fucking YouTube links. So am I supposed to psychically know that he's like clicked into something? Maybe you should go fucking read some boring ass Wikipedia shit and then I don't have to fucking worry about it. Okay?
Do you want me to... Should I just always be piping my audio into here? Because I can do that.
Pipe your... Yeah, I think you should maybe. Why don't we do that? And then you never have to do like the, okay, start now.
Can you hear me right now?
Or what you could do is, I guess you could share... I don't know. I was going to say you could share your screen, and that would have audio on it.
8. What do you think this thing even is? Is it this? Can you hear me right now? Hello, hello? 8, 7, 8. Fuck. Hold on. There is a way to do this. Testing. 1, 2. Start testing. Nope. Okay.
So what'd you do in the studio?
Oh, he's going to be mad because I can't talk to him right now.
Hello?
Oh, shit.
Sir? Sir?
Wait, can you hear me now? Hello?
Yes.
Oh, wait, hold on. I'm figuring out how to pipe my audio into you.
You would just screen share That would be the easiest way, because then you can turn it on.
Thanks.
And off.
Thanks.
Yeah.
That doesn't really
You're
work,
welcome.
but thank you.
It does. Okay. It does if you share your a monitor or a virtual monitor.
Yeah, thank you.
Then
But
it's
I have two computers, which is what makes it more complicated. So, but there is a way to do it. I just need to figure out which output this is. Just give me a minute, okay? Don't worry about it. Okay, let the big boy do the big boy stuff. Okay, thank you. Choose input. Oh fuck! I bet you have to turn on. You absolutely have to turn this on. Okay, I'll do this after stream. Fuck this. Outputs. Because I'm using that. Yep. And then I'm using that. Yep. And then I'm using this. This plays here, right? Yep. Desktops. And then that goes to my headphones. This would be the next one. No. Oh, yeah. What have you been up to lately, Dan? Anything exciting?
No, not really.
Okay.
Just working a lot. Staying busy. Day by day.
That's cool.
Yeah. You know, so we have our show on Wednesday with Dick, and then we have another one on Friday with the ex-Twitch employee.
Oh, shit.
Aren't you hyped? Yeah.
I'm so hyped. Hopefully this doesn't kill my audio. 1 second. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah.
Wait, does this still work? Oh my god. Okay. Oh my god. And then this. Okay. Boom. Video. Okay, can you hear me right now? Hello? Really? He can't hear this? No shot. Do you think he's fucking with me? Go back here. Hello, hello. Shit, hold on. Okay, close Discord, open it again. Oh fuck, it's because I didn't do this. Never mind, he probably really couldn't hear me. Okay, wait. Click this. Hey, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. All right. I fixed everything. Right. Can you hear Asmon now?
I'll just say it.
Oh.
Democrats spent fucking 4 years.
Oh my god.
Okay.
The Democrats spent 4 years? Why would they do that?
Good question.
That's wacky.
All right. Good luck.
Calling Trump a fascist, a dictator, that he took over the election, and that he was some kind of fucking terrible person who was going to remove voting. And they did it for so fucking long. And then by the time that he actually tried to do it on January 6th, everybody blew it off because they're sick of fucking hearing it for the last 4 fucking years. People are fucking tired. So it's the boy who cried wolf. It's like, he didn't do it, it's fascism. Then he finally tries to do it, and people are like, oh yeah, sure, oh yeah, he tried that again, I bet he did. People are fucking exhausted. So they were right. They were right, but not at the right time. That's the problem. Is if you constantly say something's going to happen, eventually when it happens, people are going to be fatigued from hearing it for so long before it happened that they're not going to take it seriously.
What does that mean? Like, you've been saying this guy is coming to your house to murder you for like a week, and now when he finally shows up,
Hitler's coming to kill these Jews.
Now
What's
when he
your
finally
problem?
shows up, no one gives a fuck
tired.
anymore. Yeah, what is? I don't even. Okay.
So,
That's what happens. So if you're not direct and honest about things, and you constantly exaggerate everything, and you turn everything into a hyperbole, people train themselves to take you less seriously. So when a problem actually happens and an issue legitimately occurs, that it's not taken seriously because there's been so much other escalation. So you have people that are actual fucking Nazis that are talking about legitimate Nazi stuff, and people are like, oh yeah, they said Kanye West was a Nazi. Oh yeah, they say these people were Nazis. But so the water gets so muddy that you can't have any conversation about it. It's the same thing as somebody saying, oh, well, you can't have any type of price regulations, or that's just communism.
didn't they say? I don't think they said Kanye was a Nazi. They just said he was an anti-Semite. And he
Wait,
is.
for who?
For Kanye.
Oh, people probably called him a Nazi. I think I called him a Nazi. He's just describing the Trump fatigue, which is an actual phenomenon, even minus the turning everything into a hyperbole thing. People are just so tuned out because there's a new awful thing every single fucking day. Yeah, sure, but the issue is that somehow conservatives were allowed to hijack that narrative on, like, blaming not the source of the fatigue, but people reporting on the source of the fatigue. Like, yeah, people reported on a lot of Trump craziness because Trump was fucking insane. But you can't say, like, okay, fine, we're tired of hearing about it, but you all still support him. So clearly, you're not tired of hearing about it. You just don't agree with it. That's the issue. The problem with the Trump fatigue wasn't that people were tired of hearing about it, so they didn't agree with the criticisms. That's the issue. Isn't this a similar analogy to what you say about people are starving in Gaza? Yeah, but the difference is that Trump actually did try to take over the election, and I don't think anybody has starved to death in Gaza. That the difference is like the actual reality of what's happening.
We have 1 million fucking price regulations right now. At this exact fucking moment. Right now we have price regulations. But people use these words. They're escalating everything to such a massive fucking degree of rhetoric. And guess what? It seems that way. Yeah, and it's coming. That's not the way it works. Is America communist? I wouldn't fucking say so.
Is there anything that's
So yes.
unusually high in price?
Crazy.
You think?
What do you mean by that?
Like, is there something as a result of heavy regulation costs way more than it should? Like, I guess an example of this might be gas, right? There's a lot of tax when you buy gas. Same thing with cigarettes.
I feel
right?
like gas in my mind is like video games. I feel like people think that gas should always be the same price no matter what.
No, I don't think that. I mean, I guess a good example would be cigarettes. Cigarettes obviously do not cost. How much is a pack of cigarettes now?
I don't know, but I know my grandma used to be able to buy a carton of them for $20 at the commissary. Or no, at the base exchange a long time ago.
Yeah. When I was in the Coast Guard, I could buy a cheap ass pack of cigarettes for $2.50. I don't fucking. It's probably like $10 a pack right now, if I had to guess.
Mm-hmm.
Holy sh! There's no fucking way. $10 to $15. So yeah, that's an example of something that, because of regulation, is like it's all regulation on that, right?
I have no idea.
Like,
It might be. My guess is it would
to
probably be taxes and stuff. Yeah.
Like, how much do you think it costs to make a pack of cigarettes? Can't be much.
I doubt it's changed much, right? Or if anything, it's probably gotten cheaper, right?
Yeah. Nobody thinks about the cigarette smokers, you know? I wonder where all that tax goes. It should be going to good things. I guarantee you it's not. It's probably going to some fucking bullshit.
Well, I mean, ideally, everything our government spends money on is a good thing, right? No?
No.
Does our government spend money on bad things?
Well, I think that there should be some parity sometimes. Like when you tax something, I think that some of that should be earmarked to stop whatever, like as an example would be, like if you were going to do a tax on bullets, it would make sense that all of the money that you collected as a result of that would go towards gun, violence protection or some bullshit like that.
I don't think that's always the case. I think maybe with some very
well, it's
niche
not always.
things.
I'm just saying.
No, I don't know if it should always be the case, or if it should ever be. It just depends on like what type of tax you're suggesting. Because if you end up raising a fuck ton of money that like far outstrips whatever you'd spend it on for that particular problem, and now you're like fucked into having to spend it on that particular problem, you can end up in a weird world. One of the funny things when I was looking up that people get mad at Kamala for supporting that Minnesota bail fund. When I was looking that up, that bail fund, I want to say they were making like, I want to say it was like 30 to 50,000 a year in donations to bail people out. And when Kamala tweeted it during BLM, they ended up getting like, it was millions of dollars. It was way more than they'd ever had before. And they were like literally scrounging around for people to bail out of prison because they had so much fucking money that they had so much trouble spending it. And you have to, because it's I think it was a 501c3 or something. They had to spend it on that particular thing.
Sure.
Yeah? So.
Tried to do.
The people being fucking ass mad about the price fixing shit. How much money do Democrats want Kroger's to make? They can't be like, what are their margins? Like 3% or something?
It's
a fucking
within what
supermarket.
you'd expect them to be. I doubt that there's much going on there. People are just like looking for somebody to blame for high prices and shit.
But why is Kamala feeding into it then?
Because it's a popular talking point.
Not good. It's like it's retarded.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess
she's probably-
Democrats they have the shit, right? This is like the are we the baddies? It's like are we the retarded ones? Like this shit. Like yeah, we're gonna destroy Publix and Albertsons, and we're gonna ban AR-15s even though they don't kill anyone more than handguns or something. Like that's the moment for Democrats?
Sure, but it won't happen because that'll never pass. Because as soon as it gets to like staffers and people doing research on the legislation, they'll tell them like, hey, if you want to pass this, okay, but we're literally going to destroy the entire economy. And then they'll be like, well, we tried, but we can, and blah, blah, blah. It'll be something like that.
Have you followed at all the whole like cost of McDonald's Big Mac meal?
Nope.
Shenanigans? How much do you think a Big Mac meal costs?
A whole meal?
Yeah. Don't look at chat. What do you think? Just a regular one, not supersized. I don't even know if they do supersize anymore. It's how long it's been since I've been to McDonald's.
I don't know. My gut is saying like probably $9 to $11.
I think it's more than that. Let's see. Okay, it is $13, $13.79 here.
Here or on average?
Here in Miami Beach.
So what's the average then?
I don't fucking know. I just Googled Miami Beach. Seems high. It's a lot of money for a fucking meal. I remember buying a cheeseburger for 72 cents at McDonald's. Unbelievable.
On average, it's $9.29 for a Big Mac combo right now.
What's the minimum wage?
Federally
average?
or?
No, just the average across the states.
I'm not sure.
Can you do that?
I don't think
I
people
guess per
normally average the minimum wage across
capita?
states.
What is there? I bet there's a figure that's like the cost of living time tied in with the minimum wage or something like that. It's like how much? I don't know. Just wonder how much these numbers have differed over the years, the two of them.
Well, it's hard because very few people even get paid minimum wage, so it's hard to like. People talk about the minimum wage all the time, but not that many people actually get paid minimum wage, so it's not as important as some people seem to think. Although minimum wage probably influences other wages, so. Like if the minimum wage is $7.25, I'm sure people hire at like $8.50 or whatever. But if the minimum wage was $8, then people might hire at like $9.50 or something. You know, who knows?
Yeah. Well, what do you put the Steven odds at Kamala winning right now?
I feel like it's pretty high. I'd say 70% plus, but a lot can happen between now and the election.
So 70% of the time, Kamala is winning. It does look bad for Trump. You saw he fucking backed out of the
debate.
At least I read that.
Yeah.
He did back out of the debate today with some bullshit. Like, what do you think Trump's gonna do? He's got to do something fucking crazy. because the thing that is, I think, fucking him is he has the far right like declaring war on him, saying that he's like a shill to Israel right now.
Well, that's just like the Nazi far right, who are a pretty small percentage of the overall party, but
they're very vocal, though.
They are, yeah, and they're not very good at pushing back against them. Yeah.
Is there anything Trump could do? A new VP pick? Like if he dumped Vance and he picked up actually, I don't think RFK matters. I thought about this before. I thought he did,
much, yeah.
but I don't. I was trying to imagine: is there any voters out there that were going to vote for RFK that are now going to vote for Trump? I actually don't know if that's. I bet that's single-digit percentage points. Because remember, a lot of the RFK people are like anti-vaxxers. I mean, at least that's my gut instinct. And like Trump is like the vax creator.
Yeah, although he's kind of tried to, I think, distance himself from that. I don't think he brags about that anymore, but tossing Vance would look really bad, but getting rid of Biden could also look really bad, and they got rid of Biden, and they cooed him with Kamala.
Who would be the best VP for Trump? Wait, well, who? Actually, here's the better question: who right now is not energized by Trump that was before that would need to get energized?
So here's the issue. I feel like Pence looks good. It doesn't look bad for Dems to force out Biden because it was solving a problem to win the election. It was a strategic decision. You're delusional, but okay. I think the issue, or I think Pence was a good pick because Pence like shored up your evangelical base, and Trump was so unconventional. That'd be my guess, was like the rationale, the thought process behind picking Pence. But now there is no more moderate or average conservative. Now they're all Trump fanatics. So I don't think you need to do like an unconventional pick. Or not, I shouldn't say unconventional. You don't have to find somebody so much different than Trump. I think now you should focus on somebody that synergizes them, because Trump is the cancer that has rotted the conservative base, and they're all like pro-Trump now. So you don't have to worry about trying to get your non-Trump voters. You just need to energize and turn out your existing base. So I feel like he should have just picked somebody that like synergizes super well with him. That's what I would feel. But
who isn't motivated by Trump right now, and why? Because he hasn't changed too much, I don't feel.
I think he has changed a lot.
Really?
Yes. I think
what do you think's different?
Coming in before, in the first election, he was like an outsider. There was promise.
Oh, yeah, that's different. Yeah. There was.
And I've talked about this a lot. There's like, you have the issue with populists. I think I said this 8 years ago. 8 years ago. And then 4 years ago again. You have a problem with populists where they always promise the world and they can't deliver you anything because populism is brain rot. It's never effective. People are usually retarded and they're supported by retards. So he already had one run at it and nothing really fundamentally changed. Nothing was that amazing. Nothing like got crazy. Like it was just Trump. And for people that, saw his flaws, people saw his flaws, and there were a lot of flaws. So he had one run at it. He tried a second time and he lost that election, which really hurts. But then between that election and now, for some reason, the one thing that conservatives had going for them was, at the very least, they had like hype and positivity, like make America great again. Like it feels cool. You have honor in your country. It's like, yeah, this is the pro-USA party. Hillary wants to keep America great. She calls us deplorables. These people don't want to make America great again like we do. Somehow over the past year, really 4 years, because Trump has been so fixated on the election loss and trying to say that it was fraud and fake and he didn't really lose, he comes off as a loser.
Like a loser.
Yes, because he focuses on his loss. Yeah, and he really feels like a fucking loser. And even if you're a Trump fan, you got to admit, it's kind of like, do I really want to hear him talk about the voter fraud again? Like, it's just, you don't get pumped up for that. And I will give Democrats huge credit for this. They managed to sweep out from under Trump all of the prior Republican lock points, which is like pride in your country, the USA, even like being supportive of the military and NATO, and having white people. Like the Democrats have gotten on top of all of these things. So now the only thing that Trump has left is he's literally like a big ball of fiery fucking hatred. And that's exhausting. Like, it's not righteous anger directed in any positive place. It just comes across as like a guy who's like inting his mid lane and he's 0-20, but his team won't forfeit and the enemy team's having too much fun to end the game. Like, that's what it feels like. He's just salty as fuck. And everything he's saying, I think, comes off as salty as fuck. He's still got big support in his main base, but I think that's like flipping the switch, or has begun to flip the switch on people.
There's a lot of people, I think, that don't want to go back to every day the news being the world is falling apart because Trump just did something crazy. Do you remember how that was when Trump was in office?
I understand what
Every
you're saying,
day,
but
yeah,
I think
yeah.
there are people that like that. I think that was an energizing point. But right now, you just haven't gotten that. Trump over the last 4 years has just come across as like a whiny loser. Like, that's it. Like, I think people would like that. Oh, Trump is shaking things up again in the world. Everybody does think it's over because Trump, because he's so cool. But now it's just like, yeah, voter fraud, Kamala, the names.
I'm not disagreeing that like Trump's kind of old news right now, for sure. Right? Like he's the same shit. I won the last election by a lot, and they stole it from me, and we're gonna win for the third time. You know, it's like okay, sure. Like not a lot of Republicans probably believe that, right? But he just won't. He's so fucking mad that he lost. It's destroyed him internally, right? It's like actually fucking like I don't want to say bruised his ego. Is fundamentally changed him as a person. It's all he can talk about is that he won for real. No, they're faking it. I won, and I think I disagree a little bit. I think a lot of the support for Trump for his first term, not roll the damn clip of saying this before, he was supposed to be the chosen one. He was a fucking billionaire coming in that would not give a shit what the fuck what was the status quo. He was going to come in there, hey, fuck you.
Yeah.
Pharmacy prices are cheaper. I don't give a shit. I don't need your money. I'm a billionaire. Suck my dick.
Yeah.
And that was actually fucking based. But then he didn't do that. He was just like, I want to be richer and more powerful. And it's like, bro, what the fuck?
Yeah. I think you also, because of all the negativity, they had a huge problem to where it was like a dog chasing cars. All of their campaigning was negatively focused on Biden and not much to do with, they have no policy platform, and they didn't fixate on positive things from Trump. And so when Biden stepped out and now it's Kamala, now it's like, oh shit, okay, well, she's black and a woman, so we can hit those two things. Like, that's it. And it's just like so negative and so hateful and so not like energetic. I don't know, just it feels really depressing. But there's still time between the election and now to see if they can turn it around or do something different. But yeah,
I guess all we can do is predict as if the election was today. So how do you think the popular vote is going to go? What's going to be like? Call the numbers as you see it today.
I have no idea. I'd have to look at the per state. It's still really close in the swings, isn't it?
Well, I'm just talking about right now, like the total, because I feel like Kamala is going to fucking kill it with women. I mean, I do. I feel like she's going to kill it with women. But I wonder if it's going to be like what's the previous biggest beat that we've had in an election of Republican versus Democrat?
I mean, Biden's popular vote wasn't it like 5 million over? That was pretty big.
I'm curious of the last elections. Let's see. Okay, here we go. He only had a 4.5%. Obama versus McCain was 7.2. That was pretty big. And then Clinton versus Dole, 8.5. Oh my God. Ronald Reagan versus Mondale, 18% difference. Holy fucking Jesus.
Reagan versus who?
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. And then 64, Lyndon Johnson versus Barry Goldwater. They don't let Jews in office, 22% right there. Damn. I'm wondering how bad this one could be. Trump's going to be, the good part also is that last time shit almost fell off the fucking rails, and that was because all of Trump's people were kind of in charge, right? Like, it's a lot easier to make the country kind of fall into chaos when you're still in charge, you're running shit. Now, I feel like his options are going to be super limited when he loses. Like, he can't really do much. What is he going to be like? We need to go march on the Capitol? Like, I feel like he's called for crazy shit to happen before, and not that many people have shown up. Now, it could be different this time, but I remember there was an example of him like, we want everyone coming down to Manhattan for our for the trial, and there was like 4 people who showed up for the trial or something like that.
Yeah, the problem is he always has to have like the plausible deniability, and he's not courageous enough to actually do like a real rebellion or revolt, or so because he's like cucked into speaking codedly. I guess it's kind of like Russia versus Ukraine. Like if Russia could just say, we're going to war with this country, we're going to do a full mobilization of the entire population, we're going to go, but instead Putin always has to be like, well, it's a special military operation, we're just mobilizing a very small percentage. And like Trump is kind of the same way because he's a fucking coward. But yeah, he's
absolute power. I guess it literally does corrupt absolutely.
No, Trump was already corrupt coming into office. He was already a fucking retard the entire time. He said the 2012 election was rigged, and 2012. 2012. Yeah, he said that one was rigged too. In 2016, his first big issue was the Obama birther thing. He tried it with Kamala even again, saying she wasn't born in the U.S. Like, there's yeah.
No, I remember. I want to arrive cool. I don't know if that's how he said it, but they're already talking about doing court challenges, leaked audio. They have this huge plan. Let me tell you, I'm not worried about any of that shit for the same reason I said. Trump maybe, like, have you seen the video of Trump going out being like, we don't need you to vote, we already got so many votes, everything's gold? Like, why would you say that? Because he's so fucking retarded. He thinks that whatever like cockamamie strategy he might have with like people in fucking Georgia election offices that are going to be like, oh, these ones don't count. Bro, that only works if you're in charge.
And if it's really, really, really close.
And if it's true, you're going to be fucked, bro. What do you think? Like, let's say that you do that. And you have like a bunch of people in Georgia and swing states that are like diehard Trumps, and they like are throwing out votes. They're like, I got a newsflash for you, bro. You're not in charge. Those people will get investigated, and they're gonna be fucked.
Yeah.
Oh man. I mean, it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
And I don't know what is his strategy of saying this. Like,
he doesn't have one. He's always been retarded. He is retarded, and he's always been retarded. There is no grand strategy. He's a lucky guy. He was in the right place at the right time.
I got it.
Yeah. Yes. Right place, right time. That's literally it.
Yeah. It's interesting. Interesting stuff. It's too bad.
What'll be interesting is seeing what the Republican Party looks like post-Trump. We'll see if he's still going to try to run again in 4 years.
Man, do you think? No, he won't do that. But do you think? Do you think the Republican Party has now changed? It sounds cringe to say, but like the fascist party or whatever, or like the King party.
I think that there's going to be kind of a vacuum after Trump is gone, and it's just going to depend on who like cleans up afterwards. But there's going to have to be, the thing is, there's going to have to be like brave leadership in the Republican Party to make these decisions. And the Republicans have no good leaders right now in media or in politics. They kind of do, but they killed all of those people. They got rid of all of them. So, but yeah. There's just somebody's going to have to come out in media too and say like, okay, hey, you know what? We're going to start having, some level of decorum, some level of conservative value, some level of Americanism is going to come back. But it's so hard for.
I don't think so. I think it only gets worse and more hatred. Like they're trying to trans your kids. Only Donald Trump Jr. can go out there and kill them all. And
I don't think that. I know what you're saying, but I think that the only reason why this platform made it as far as it did, I think there's two things. One is Republicans are already primed to believe in retarded shit, more so than Democrats for whatever reason. But also because Trump sold this largely on his charisma. Trump is just a really good speaker. He's really funny. He's got a unique way of communicating to audiences like this. And Trump is a really unique guy. Once he's here and once he's gone, that was like a unique moment in time for that person. Nobody else can do what he did and take the reins like that. So just having like if you just have like a hateful piece of shit without any of the riz, they're just going to come across as like weird and hateful. Nobody's going to support that person. I think.
You had a USB thing just unplugged, real, by the way.
Good.
I'll let you know that.
I like it, yeah.
I spent a day once because I had USB, that noise happening intermittently. It was driving me fucking insane to the point where I was like, okay, I'm going to log and find out where this is coming from. And they don't make it easy on you. I'll say that. I never found out, but it stopped. So it knew I was coming for it. Oh, you know what's interesting? Did you know that there's a folder with every screenshot that you've taken?
Yeah.
On Windows?
Yeah, pretty crazy.
That is fucking crazy that's there. I feel like a lot of people do not know that that's there.
Nope. I think I screenshotted something and I moved over to either click it to do a snip or something, and then it opened a thing on the side. I was like, wait, what? And then I clicked it. I was like,
yeah, you're like, what the fuck? Wait, see, there's a lot of people that don't know. So,
Yep.
see, I mean, we're all going to go there together. We're going to explore. See, users, your username. I think it's just pictures and then screenshots. That's where you're going. You're going there and you're going to be like, what the fuck? This folder is fucking huge. And there's so many screenshots of stuff I don't want in here. Imagine not knowing this. Well, I feel like there's a lot of people that don't know this.
Yep.
And also, I don't feel like that's not a failure of the consumer not to know that. That's a failure of Microsoft not to inform you when you press print screen that it's saving a copy in a folder forever. Do not blame the consumer for bad decisions from Microsoft.
Yep. Okay, playing this.
Do it, and people are like, oh yeah, sure, oh yeah, he tried that again, I bet he did. People are fucking exhausted. So they were right, but not at the right time. That's the problem, is if you constantly say something's gonna happen, eventually when it happens, people are gonna be fatigued from hearing it for so long
It was over the course of one presidency.
before it happened that they're not gonna take it seriously. That's what happens. So if you're not direct and honest about things and you constantly exaggerate everything and you turn everything into a hyperbole, people train themselves to take you less seriously. So when a problem actually happens and an issue legitimately occurs, that it's not taken seriously because there's been so much other escalation. So you have people that are actual fucking Nazis. They're talking about legitimate Nazi stuff. And people are like, oh yeah, they said Kanye West was a Nazi. Oh yeah, they say these people are Nazis. But so the water gets so muddy that you can't have any conversation about it. It's the same thing as somebody saying, oh, well, you can't have any type of price regulations or that's just communism. We have a million fucking, they're escalating everything to such a massive fucking degree of rhetoric. And guess what? It seems that way. Yeah, and it's coming. That's not the way it works. Is America communist? I wouldn't fucking say so. So yes, it's crazy. Millions of language in the world just to be facts. Yes, then they were right, so we should just ignore it since they spoke too soon. Yes. Yes. Absolutely. So they were right. Yes, if you say something, if you say it's raining today, and you go outside and it's not raining, then you were wrong. You can't say, I think this person's going to do something, and then say, oh, they're doing this, it's not happening, and then when it does happen, expect everybody to take it seriously.
I look forward to having Asmon on our election night special. It's going to be...
The problem is he's pretending like people are making like discrete claims about time and day, and that's not the same as making like a general observation of a trend. It's like saying like, hey, if you eat only chocolate M&Ms every single day, you're gonna get sick. And it's like, let's see. And then like 2 weeks goes by and the guy's not sick. It's like, listen, you're going to get sick if you keep doing it. He's like, okay, let's see. And then like 2 more weeks, and then eventually like 3 months goes by and he's like, fuck, and he like crashes hard with like fucking scurvy or some bullshit. And then he's in the hospital and the guy's like, bro, I told you, if you only eat M&Ms and that's it, you're gonna get sick. And the guy's like, yeah, but why would I listen to you? You were saying this for like weeks and months before it happened. Like, you good job. You happened to get right. No, it wasn't that you happened to get it right at one discrete moment in time. It's not like somebody's trying to call a coin flipping. They're trying to call an avalanche starting. And they're not really sure at what point the avalanche is going to start, but they're saying like, hey, there's a lot of accumulated stuff here. And hey, it seems like we're getting to a point where it's about to fall over. And like, hey, it's about to, and it's like, ah, really? Oh, you've been saying that for weeks. And then, oh, here it comes, rip. Like, it's not the same type of claim.
It's that simple. Like, if you don't understand that, you don't understand. It's crazy. It's not getting bad. No, it's not getting bad. No. Do you see what I'm saying with this? Do you see where I'm coming from? What's failing in instances? Exactly. It's nuts. Do you see where I'm coming from with this? Like, I don't want to, like, because there's more to this too. Like, it's a boy who cried wolf logic. Yeah, it's so obvious. How is January 6th the point? Trump did so many bad things to make everything meaningless. What I'm saying is that I think that people, I don't know, we type something. But to me, it's points on a line. They foreshadowed it, but it's yes. It is. But when you exaggerate the points on the line to be worse than what they are, you train people to take you less seriously. That's what happens.
Like
and I'm telling you, this is what happens.
Like, he's true in concept and in theory, he's right, but he's not. But it doesn't apply to the situation.
There is a reason why The Boy Who Cried Wolf is such a popular fucking story. There's a reason why it is something that for hundreds, if not thousands of years, people have repeated. It's because people don't like being gaslit and freaked out about something that's not actually happening just because you've escalated language enough to make people take you more seriously than what you would otherwise deserve. So yes, absolutely, okay?
I also fully reject this argument because it's not applied evenly. Like, people will say this on the conservative side, well, we didn't believe you said, okay, well, how? All right. We had 8 years of Barack Obama. Where's my fucking communism? Okay? I was promised communism for 8 years by Rush Limbaugh. Where is it? It didn't happen. And then we got 4 years of Joe Biden. Where's my communism? I thought we were supposed to be communist now. Did it not happen? If Kamala wins and we get 4 more years of a Democrat president, is that going to be communism? Where's the communism at, right? Like why do the Republican actions never have consequences? It's only the Democrats that are supposed to be like, be responsible with your rhetoric. Stop calling everybody a Nazi. You commie. Okay, fine. Be responsible with your rhetoric. Stop making unhinged comments about victims of violence at rallies. Okay, by the way, how's Paul doing? Has he got fucked in the eye socket anymore by a gay dude with a hammer? LOL. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, there's no end. Like, you guys need to turn down the rhetoric. And by the way, the Democrats are trying to steal every single election and rig everything. And they're trying to inject poison into your veins. And they're trying to cut off the penises of every single boy that they're turning into women as the Muslims and the Jews both simultaneously invade our country in order to make it so that white people can't have positions of power anymore. And that's why we're cucked out to things like Israel and the World Economic Forum. And George Soros is coming after us and all. And it's like, dude, fuck off. Why would I ever listen to a person who believes every single thing I just said, unironically? They believe all these things. Why the fuck would I listen to you when you talk about, like, maybe you should be a little bit more careful when you give takes on things? No. Christ.
And it's a big problem. You call everybody out, like, if you use these bad words, like, it's like, I've used the example of slavery, right? Slavery. Oh, things are, this is like slavery. No, it's not like slavery. Read a fucking book. It has nothing, it's not even, it's not even 2% like slavery. It's crazy. But that's what they're hyperinflating this language, and they're doing it with an emotional goal, right? They're being emotional, being a streamer. Yeah, I'm being on stream right now. I'm basically a slave because people can choose what they're gonna do. So if you don't understand what I'm saying with this, I'm sorry to say, but I think you don't understand the way that people think. So yeah, you think a couple peasants would take over the government with no guns on January 6th? I don't understand what you're thinking.
Isn't that his point? Nobody took Rush seriously because he was shouting communism for years and it never happened. If Obama today was like, you know what, communism is based, Rush would come back from the dead to tell us all we told you so. Yes, but that's the difference. Obama is never a communist. The Democratic Party doesn't want communism. Nobody wants... The Republican Party is closer to wanting communism than the Democratic Party is right now. If you promise them the right things, because that's how populism works, because when you're a populist, your mode of economic production doesn't really fucking matter that much. If you deploy it in the right way, everything is fine. Like, nobody actually gives a fuck about capitalism or liberalism or any of these like broader concepts. Fucking Trump didn't even know what Western liberalism was.
Here, January 6th was an obvious play for Trump to change the outcome of the election. It clearly was. Everybody can see that. It shouldn't have happened. It's an embarrassing moment. Everybody can agree with that. It was, and even if you don't think that he would have done it, I don't think he would have done it either. I don't think that there was ever a path of the outcome being positive. But I think that it was stupid and it shouldn't have happened. And we'll look back on this in 20 years and it will be a moment of shame. There's never an actual reality where...
What?
But what is he saying that Trump wasn't going to do it? Trump absolutely...
Because nobody has any idea how close the Republic was to falling on that day. Nobody knows the facts of anything,
Is he like, oh yeah, Trump was he was just packing his shit, he was just putting on a show? Like, no, dude, he wanted to stay there. If you gave him a path, he would have fucking been there. It wasn't like, oh, we're just gonna do our little J6 shit and then, then we're gonna go. We understand. We got the rules of the road and whatnot. No, he was in it, bro. He was looking for a way out. I don't know why he would say that. It's like so not true.
I think this would have happened, but there is a reality where he tried to make it happen. Does that make sense? Fuck. Like, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills here. Yes, it made us look like retards. Everybody saw that. What's that dipshit in the middle of our fucking Senate floor, or House of Representatives floor, sitting there, the fucking hat on. We looked like a bunch of fucking retards in front of everybody in the world. If you can't see that, you're fucking delusional. And you guys know that I don't always... I've been positive about Trump many times. I've said, oh, I agree with this, I agree with that. But I didn't agree with that.
Wait, what did he agree with Trump on?
I don't know, probably DEI or something. Would be my guess. Trump had nothing to do with Jan 6. Enough with the left-wing propaganda. My God. It was a false flag from the Zionist deep state.
No, wrong. It was Antifa Jews on the ground that were doing it.
It was a CIA psyop limo.
The funniest fucking part of that whole thing is right now, there's a good portion of people that believe that everyone at J6 was like a Zionist Antifa plane. There's some, not a lot, but there's some. Imagine how stupid you feel if you're one of the J6 dudes that's in jail right now, and people are like, nice job, Jew.
Yeah, it reminds me of the Onion skit of like you've got the Al-Qaeda guy and the conspiracy theorist guy. Do you know what I'm talking about? Fuck, what a keynote. I'm glad you don't know, because now it's an excuse for me to play.
I probably do. You're doing a really bad job of explaining it. I'm sure if you know of it,
you would have known
I
it
definitely
immediately.
know.
It's good.
I probably gotta
Too
know
late.
about it.
A new book called The Truth About September 11th claims to present evidence that the destruction of the World Trade Center was not the work of terrorists, but was in fact perpetrated by the U.S. government. With us, the much maligned book's author, William Gerard.
Most of the mainstream media, they're just too afraid to even have me on, so thank you.
Also joining us is Omar Al-Farouk of Al-Qaeda. He's an outspoken critic of what he calls Gerard's 9/11 conspiracy theories.
Yes, Michael, I assure you that is all this book is complete nonsense.
Mr. Gerard, how did you arrive at the conclusions in your book? Where are the facts
Well, through
here?
scientific examination of ground zero. For example, the melted core. I mean, that was definitely evidence that there were thermite bombs that were used to bring down those
I
buildings.
can assure you we did not use thermite bombs. I did the research myself. It would not have worked. We flew an enormous airplane into a building. Okay, I think it is obvious what caused the building to crumble.
Why are you being so close-minded to this, sir? If more
How would
people
you
just had
like
the
it
courage.
if you spent, 2 months in a mountain cave, sleeping on rocks, planning something really special, only to have someone take the credit away from you? Say,
More
oh
people
no,
just
you
have
don't
the
deserve the
courage
credit
to
for
open
it.
up their minds
Mr.
and learn
Gerard,
the truth.
Mr. Gerard, why in the world would the U.S. government want to stage this attack on their own soil?
Greed, of course. And to increase the oil revenues, the weapons industry, and security industry. And these are all things that Bush and puppet master Cheney, they've got their stakes in.
Bush's administration, they're a den of jackals. We certainly have common ground there. But what does not follow is why would they kill? Why would they kill 3,000 of their own infidels?
Well, of course, because think about it. It was all part of their plan to build a case for the war in
He
Iraq.
was so smart to plan all of this. Why is his approval rating, in El Haman, and why is Osama bin Laden safe in somewhere?
Yes, the Iraq War has done serious damage to the Bush administration.
Here, look. I have names, phone numbers, everyone involved in this.
You got to be kidding.
Okay?
Names and phone numbers.
I have here the voucher for the lessons, for the flight lessons.
This is obviously forged documents. I mean, come on, did President Bush give you these himself?
I
this
work
is
for Bush.
ridiculous. Most
Me and
definitely
Bush,
makes
we
sense.
go out, we hang. He
Why
goes,
do we call
hey,
Cheney
bring
the
on the
puppet master, sir?
forgery.
You were
It
just a
is
puppet.
rubbish.
Yeah,
Talking to you
come on.
is like talking to a girl.
This is the kind of thing our government does. I mean,
Let Mr. Farouk of Al-Qaeda speak.
I have a suggestion for you. Why don't you go to the Washington Monument? Take the family. Let's say October 12th, 2009, around 3:04. Take a guided tour to the top and just wait there. I think you will see that Al-Qaeda is very good at organizing things.
Gentlemen, thank you. Coming up when we come back, the 2008 baby pandas are in. We'll have lots of footage of that.
That was a pretty good meme.
Everything here was a good meme.
It's pretty good. Pretty good.